Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of Ultimate Spider-Man 2024 Volume 2. Ooh, showcasing Black Cat there. The paper. So, this one's an interesting kind of collection where we are getting more into how Harry and Peter kind of operate together. Otto kind of being their guy in the chair kind of thing going on. Getting more introduced to the Sinister Six, seeing Jonah and Ben exploring more of connections with certain kind of things, getting close to what's going on with Harry and Gwen, getting Stark's assets, Iron Lad, Tony Stark kind of popping up and being like, yo, what's kind of going on? And some crazy ass kind of things going on in the December/12 issue. So we crack out and we see them kind of just like getting into and trying to figure out what's going on with these suits and what's kind of going on with the tech. Peter's is the more advanced kind of Pico suit, and we kind of get that kind of seeding throughout that it's kind of along the lines of like the symbiote, especially towards the end into the 12th issue. And pretty much making onboard AI for these guys. Going for Harry's dad on his Green Goblin one, and Peter's for his, which gives a different kind of thing where, like, you're normally like, oh, Peter's kind of talking to himself in his own head, and then you're like, oh, this definitely gives it a more kind of strange vibe when it goes kind of symbiote style. Let's see. Of course, we see that Jonah and Ben pretty much are talking with Robbie to understand kind of what's going on, and him wanting to be more on the inside so that way they can do more stuff and understand what's going on with Kingpin. Of course, we see Captain Britain pretty much popping up and being like, yeah, let's fucking deal with this, Kingpin. What's going on here? Of course, him, like, I'm doing this one first, but then I've also got a volume that leads into the stuff with the Ultimates issue 1 and everything. Trying to pretty much be like, okay, you lost one of my agents, and we see that we've got a lot of other kind of bullseyes. It's like, what the fuck? And of course, bringing up that he's got 6 kind of plans to kind of deal with what's going on here. And then we see them kind of working out and fighting kind of to see what goes on with these suits. Otto pretty much being like, okay, before we turn these AI things on, I'll probably have to reboot these fuckers to turn them off, okay? And it's really kind of, the artwork is stellar, seeing how the action scenes go together, but also emotions on faces. But this is good as we see Harry kind of going a little bit too far. I mean, he already had daddy issues, and now he's got fucking Osborn AI being like, and never let your guard down. There's always someone out there trying to beat you, hurt you, take everything for you. They killed me. What do you think they'll do to you? It's like, oh shit. And talking about embarrassing him and just blasting Spidey. It's like, oh shit, what the fuck? Ow, that hurt. We okay? Yeah, our diagnostics are within acceptable levels. We'll be fine. But he needs therapy, you think? Well, Dad, how is that? Acceptable. A third carrier signal. Something's you okay? Need a hand? Oh, now you go easy on me? Heh, don't act like you don't get in a couple good ones. But sorry if I went a little, hey, little problem here. What's wrong, Otto? Third carrier wave. Another signal in the Stark network. I tried to lock it out, but there's a back door and it has... Oh, it's here. I told you I'd be back in 6 months. As we see Tony pop up. It's like, wow. And here I am. I just have one question for you. Are you a hero yet? It's like, we'll see here. Of course, we then pop into August, and Pete's like, this fucking suit thing. He's just like, yeah, I'm thinking about stuff. Just gotta get candles, cake, and everything because it's a kid's birthday. Well, that's disappointing, but tell the kids I said happy birthday. What the? How are you talking? I talk all the time, Peter. I believe we've even had conversations. Okay, sure. But that's when I'm wearing this suit, and you're just a voice in my head. Yes, same as right now. I'm not actually talking out loud. You're imagining this. What? Just kidding. Ah! Hilarious, and people think I'm not funny, and those people would be very, very wrong. True, but you talking. How in the world? As of course it puts itself on him. It's like, what? If a perfect a replica of your psyche housed in a totally independent, completely adaptive Pico shell. Of course I can talk. Okay, and what else can you do that I don't know about? Oh, I can do all kinds of things, Peter. I'm afraid. It's like, okay, put that down. I gotta go. But we're going to talk about this, talk more about this later. I look forward to it. And please remember to wish the kids happy birthday for me. So I have questions about my suit. 3 weeks ago. Oh yeah? What's the first thing you want to ask me about? Well, I have more, and so do I. But yes, actually, I don't get it. Why is my suit so different than his, and yours for that matter? It was the last breakthrough my father made before it was the last thing he made. Anyway, the Picotech is revolutionary, way beyond anything I know how to make. When I was putting together the packages to send back in time, I thought it should go to someone who might need it the most. Something special for someone special. Thanks, seriously, thank you. That's the nicest thing anyone has said to me all day. I mean, this guy's been punching me for hours while the other sicko just watches. Still, I gotta ask, what do you mean? What makes me so special? You don't know? Of course you don't. How could you? You don't have the... You're special because, well, you're the top of the list. Of course, this is bringing up the Maker's kind of list. And Harry's like, where was I? You weren't on the list. Of course, bringing that, like, he's Harry Osborn. He paid pennies on the dollar. After what I've learned, fair price for a company run by traders. I went to bed one day, loving the world and seeing it how a child does. And then I woke up in a world of monsters and men, never able to sleep so soundly. None of our fathers are perfect, especially mine. So what now? The Maker returns in a little over a year. Best get ready for him. Where was I? Excuse me? And he's pretty much like, yeah, we've all kind of changed up. It's like pretty much putting them on their path, getting them into what's going on. And that seems to be the main track for this and also the Ultimates one. Of course, bringing up and seeing that Jonah has gotten a gift for Richard as they get the cake and everything like that, and pretty much trying to get Peter on board with them and being like, yeah, I gotta talk to MJ and everything like that before they go to this arcade where you get a lot of kind of crazy stuff going on in the background, Dance Dance Revolution and everything. And I really kind of like this kind of block kind of layout as Jonah tries to pretty much actually bond with the kid, tell him that he's pretty much coming here because of Ben being lonely and everything like that, but he doesn't say that, but saying that he does a good job of hiding it, and his gift is to give him a book that he like self-published, but it isn't as narcissistic as it sounds. Talking about how he's the most interesting person in the world. Talking about how he lost money on it, but it was out in the world, it was mine, and now it's yours. And then he's like, that's actually pretty cool, especially with someone who's into books and everything like that. As we see him doing a party and seeing a little secret war kind of thing there. That's kind of cool. But then we start seeing the tease and seeing the unveiling of the Sinister Six of Mr. Negative, and pretty much having similar kind of powers to what we are pretty much used to. Black Cat, let's see. Of course, Walter Hardy, and we'll see that's not for long. We got Kraven, Mysterio, seeing how they kind of work together, and of course we've got Mole Man as they're brought together to kind of deal with what's going on with rats and infestations. Asking if it's a catch or kill thing on Green Goblin or Spider-Man. I was thinking we could make a game of it. It's like, ooh, that's not good. So we shift to September as we see Jonah and Ben kind of dealing with their kind of business. Doing mainly the kind of Spider-Man stuff to kind of drum up stuff for the paper, which they're kind of course talking about celebrating, but like MJ's asking, why do you have such sour looks on your faces? Since most of their stuff is Spider-Man. It's our first month of the paper being live, and 8 of our top 10 stories are about Spider-Man, and that's because we only have 8 Spider-Man stories. I don't get it. People love those stories. And Peter's gotten some great picks, we know. But our attention, what we want, is to do serious stories that no one is covering. Stories that people are afraid to talk about. Instead, all of this is decidedly not serious. It's just sensational. I love those little kind of hits that they put in there. Well, I would call it amazing, but you two are not getting it. How about you explain it to us? And I like how she kind of goes into this. First, you had the fastest growing online presence since, I don't know, probably Simon Williams. And how did that work out? Not great, but that's not the point, because two virtually overnight, and primarily because of your Spider-Man coverage, you have a massive new audience. The paper has a subscriber list that already numbers several 100,000 readers and is growing like crazy every day. I showed you the projections, right? In the next 6 months, the two of you are going to be bigger than the Bugle. Oh, I do like the sound of that. You bet, and thank you for all the great marketing genius, MJ. We couldn't have done it without you. There's a story we're working on that people have to listen to me. Of course they love the icing, but I'm betting they'll also love the cake. The only thing you need to keep in mind is this. These numbers, what they mean is the devil cannot cast you out. They mean you can write whatever you want and people will see it. It's like, yep. There you go, MJ. And then we pretty much bring into the effect that they are pretty much trying to get through any kind of start guards that are in these kind of suits. Firmware update for the suit. It's quite simple, really. As you know, there's a carrier frequency individually disrupting the start version and additively creating a new frequency for us to use, which we modulate daily. He had to go a little further outside the box, as his suit remains a hyper-advanced enigma that Otto can't solve, which of course will gnarly him. So of course we get introduced to the Iron Spider suit, and he's like, Ugh. And of course we see that the Pico suit is like, why would you do this? Why? Now, this could potentially, of course, back into, like, Otto potentially going for utilizing that for his Doc Ock persona if it gets into that kind of effect. Spidey just wants something simple, and this leads us to him having his cloth suit, which I'm like, that actually makes sense. Since they don't really know Stark that well, and he's a teenager here, pretty much, they're like, we want to make sure we have control over our suits. Valid point. And we shift back over to Jonah and Ben pretty much being able to figure out going through and getting everything that the Osborns are pretty much linked up to the Stark thing. Bringing up that his suit is spandex. What if it shrinks when I wash it? Oh god, MJ's never going to let me hear the end of this. And then bringing up kind of like holiday plans before Black Cat pops in and starts pretty much fighting them. But then we start seeing him getting like ripped up in his spandex suit. And he's being an asshole. It's like, oh shit. We also see that Osborn's suit got fucked up and needs to be kind of rebooted. Of course, bringing up that you caught our attention, you dared lay siege to Olympus, you angered the gods. And of course, he's pretty much trying to choke Spidey out, but then he starts webbing some shit. He's like, what the fuck? Not bad, Otto. Web shooters. Pretty much thinking that, like, they're gonna, like, kill his ass. And, of course, Harry more listening to his onboard AI and blasting Walter off where he lands on the concrete and it looks bad. He's still moving. Call for an ambulance. Minutes later. Do you think he'll live? Well, he's not dead yet. What the hell, Harry? What do you mean? My suit had just come back online. You turned your back, then he pulled out a weapon. I did what I had to do, but I didn't feel anything. Of course, bringing up the whole Spidey sense thing. He would have killed you, Peter, and not thought twice about it. I heard what he said to you about him and Fisk and God knows whoever else making a game of hunting us. I'm afraid we're running out of time here. You need to wake up and realize who these people are and what they're willing to do. It's like, yeah, this is kind of nuts. And of course, Pete's like, we can't be them. We have to be better than them. And I really like how this is framed out. And you need to know something, Peter. If I'm put to the choice and one of them is about to kill you, I will never hesitate. It's like, ooh, interesting there. Lost my place, but I'm back. And it's like, okay, what'll you do? And Pete pauses for a bit. Well, just so you know, you're still invited to Christmas. Sorry, I've got plans. Still, I'll get the kids something cool. Yeah? Yeah, I'm thinking something spandex. Harry, you just might be the worst best friend a guy could have. I just love how their relationship is here. So we get to October, and this is them pretty much going and getting the information about what happened with the whole Stark sell-off. And pretty much linking it up with the Osborns. And Gwen's like, oh, I want my money back now. It's like, shit. Having been over for dinner, seeing them kind of playing with the kids and doing chess and all that. And of course, bringing up what happened with Gwen to MJ, being like, I'm not worried about the money. I am crushing it. And I wouldn't necessarily call her a friend. But the paper is doing well. I'm pretty close to lining up other advertisers, so there's other money out there. If I had a little longer, the story's the story, MJ. When we have it, we publish. That's the business side. Do you have anything you'd like to add to this, Peter? Hey, I just take the pictures and collect unemployment. We just want to be sure because this could blow up everything you guys have done. And Gwen's also a client, and she wanted me to ask, so I'm asking, how long until you run the story? She's got a week. And then 2 days later, we see that Harry pops up and pretty much it had a kind of bet on what was kind of going on for it. And then bringing up like the timing between Oscorp taking the company over and like the whole flying green armor thing. But Harry thinks this is kind of a threat against him, but they're bringing it up as like, no, we know Fisk ordered it, and we know that you and your spider friend have been waging a two-person war on the Fisk Empire. So why would Fisk sell you the thing you're using to destroy him? And this is where they start kind of being like, okay. Because he doesn't know that buried deep inside the stained Stark was a hidden record of what Fisk and the people who control Fisk has been up to for decades. I learned that they're evil, like old as the history of man evil, and they had to be stopped. Of course, giving him information on this is like, oh, okay. Talking about that their story starts there. Then, if you have the courage to write it, it will grow. Do you think you're up for this? They're the ones who did. Yeah. Because these people are dangerous and ruthless. You have friends, you have family. There's a reason I wear a mask. I wouldn't put my name anywhere near this story. Who said we were? Talking about how they pretty much use Ben Reilly as the name as they run their whole thing on Fisk. And then we, of course, see November, where Spidey is trying to pretty much get in contact with Harry, and then tries to get in contact with Otto to get in contact with Harry, which is just great. He's like, fuck this shit. Harry, of all the stakeouts to stand me up on, it just so happens to be the one where there's some real crime ensues. More fun for me, then. And we get our quote-unquote classic Spidey as he's attempting to take on Mr. Negative's gang. But, of course, he pops up. And Spidey's like, I'm going to put you in jail. And he's like, you think you're the man to put me there? Alright. Of course, using his powers to, like, control the people to, like, pretty much rip Spidey almost apart. Then he, like, gets back home and he's like, oh, fuck me. And MJ's like, you're lucky that the kids aren't here. He learned a valuable lesson today. Not all women are Mary Jane Watson Parker. Not even close. I'm lucky to have you. Yeah? That's what my sister used to say. But not in a nice way. And now you don't even talk to her. But you and I do. Absolutely. And I feel like there's something you want to say, and I should pay close attention when you do so. Yeah. So, I think I've been pretty cool about you becoming the new you. Like, I think I've taken the threat of violence and an overall looming sense of danger in stride. Agreed. So what should I do if, say, I'm starting to freak out a little bit? Because of this? Sure, and the thousands of photos and hours of video you take for the paper. Peter, I don't think it's ever come up before, but have you ever gotten into a fight before all this? Sure, Flash Thompson, 8th grade. How'd that go? Oh, he beat the shit out of me. It was terrifying. So how are you dealing with it now? I hate it. I mean, it feels good to stop someone that only someone like me can stop. but I don't want to hurt anybody, and I don't want anybody to get hurt. Which is why you're perfect for this, I suppose, but do you promise to tell me when I should get scared? Baby, if I ever come home and tell you it's time to run, be ready to run. But until then, please don't worry. I'm supposed to be doing this. And I love them kind of digging into that, where MJ kind of voices her concerns, and them actually having a good talk about it. Then, of course, we see Fisk chatting and understanding what's kind of going on with the rest of his people. No, Kingpin, it was at best a stalemate. It took him less than a minute to defeat almost all my men, so I took the liberty the rabble gave me and withdrew from the conflict. Of course, Kraven's like, so, you see this man and you must kill him. Do it in whatever manner you wish, but he must die, for we have been reduced from 5 to 6. No. As we then see that Walter pops up, and we see Felicia as the new Black Cat. Kind of going more of a criminal kind of syndicate with this Sinister Six, which I've pretty much been enjoying. Of course, we see Pete hooking up with Ben. Pretty much reminiscing about May. Pretty much that Ben had figured out what was going on with him being Spider-Man and everything, and telling him not to say anything out loud. Talking how Jonah doesn't know yet, but he'll get there eventually. I do know that I'm strong enough now to do something about it if I had to. Why are you doing it? Because they're evil and someone has to stand up to that. Harry's here. I gotta go see what... Sure. Go do some good, kiddo. Hey, Peter? Yeah? I'm old. Well, old enough to have lived a good life. And I've lived long enough to see the woman I loved be buried and gone. I do miss her, but it was a good life, and I'm fine with whatever happens next. Can you say that? No. Maybe keep that in mind. As he's pretty much trying to be that kind of person. It's like, interesting. And I kind of like this kind of cover there where you see Doc Ock like that. So this one is pretty much a Christmas party in December with them kind of showing up. And this is just a gnarly kind of issue. We really get no Spidey action here, but we're definitely getting the interdynamics of what's going on. Mary Jane having a contentious relationship with her mother, who's pretty much going after, like, Ben and Jonah. Her sister, who thinks that Peter is shit and has her own kind of issues. That Gwen is pretty much calling, but she's calling because she doesn't know where Harry is. It's like, shit? But yeah, this is actually pretty well done for mainly just like being mainly a talk one at a Christmas party and learning more about MJ's side of the family in this, and Peter supposedly helping her out. Let's see here. And MJ reconciling with her sister who's getting a divorce. It's like, okay. Let's see here. But we see that she doesn't know where Harry's at. Asking if Peter has any idea. And she goes to pretty much tap Peter, and we see that it's actually the suit thing masquerading as him. And it's like, what the fuck's going on here? It's like, it's creepy as shit. And we see the epilogue that Kraven has pretty much captured our group. As we had seen, happiness is being surrounded by the people you love. Fear is knowing that they can be taken away. It's like, oh shit, next time on Dragon Ball Z. But I enjoyed this one a lot. I do like Hickman's overall understanding of these characters and what he's attempting to do with this, and the art is just on point. I really like the style of older Peter and how his hair and beard flow. I mean, I know that sounds kind of weird, but when you have that in a comic, you want that to work out pretty well, and it doesn't hinder anything with his suit. And I love that we start with the Pico suit and starts doing some crazy ass shit. Teen Stark's like, yeah, you guys heroes yet? You ready for this shit? that makes more sense when you also read it in conjunction with the Ultimates and how this kind of shit started. And then him going to the spandex one and him kind of diverging from Harry. They're still friends at this moment, but it's a contentious kind of thing. They do kind of go through some certain stuff. I mean, Harry blasting Walter off of the roof, that was pretty... It's like, dude, pull yourself back. That wasn't necessary. You could have done something else. And putting your crazed ass fucking asshole condescending father as your AI? No. You need the ability to shut that shit off. And completely, like, shutting off your suit. I mean, they even had to reboot the suit. It's like, oh god. Now, even though Felicia Hardy, Black Cat, is, like, on the cover, we don't really get much of her in this, except for her being introduced. And I do like that the Sinister Six is woven into this as part of Fisk's criminal empire, and that they're kind of allies, partners, but they don't really like dealing with each other. It's interesting. It's a different kind of dynamic than rogues coming together to be like, this motherfucker beat our asses up. Let's team this shit up and crack that motherfucker's ass. That I still like, okay? It's just two different kind of dynamics, and I'm liking seeing how this one goes. I still love the one of like, yo, man, you got your ass beat by Spider-Man. Hey, motherfucker, you got your ass beat by Spider-Man. Well, let's team up and beat Spider-Man's ass then. I love that Spidey is the quintessential one that pretty much has that kind of shit going on with the rogues kind of teaming up. Because whenever you think of that, you're like, Spider-Man, Sinister Six, and whatever kind of incarnations that kind of works out as. And seeing how it kind of works out here, mainly with Mr. Negative, Mysterio, Kraven, Mole Man. We'll see how that kind of works out for him. And I love seeing how Ben and Jonah were able to pretty much deduce what was kind of going on with Kingpin's empire, and how it just keeps onioning out as they keep going deeper into the layers. And I didn't know if I was going to like that kind of aspect, but Hickman does a really good job on that. And I do like it when it pops up. The 12th issue is a very strange issue because you're like, oh, it's a Christmas party. But there's still interdynamics going on that are like conflicts that, yeah, you don't have action and shit going on. But then you get the thing at the end where Peter and Harry have been kidnapped by Kraven and shit's getting real. So we'll see how that kind of works out. I mean, I'm enjoying both this and Amazing Spider-Man so far. So I'm like, yeah, okay. Now, if you're not enjoying Amazing Spider-Man, I totally get that. And if you're liking this, you're probably liking it, and just go for it. I like the kind of collection because sometimes it's like, alright, cool. I was focusing mainly on Amazing Spider-Man, and it's nice to be able to get into these kind of collected editions and kind of see what's kind of going on here. Now, this one is $19.99 US, $25 Canadian, because it's got both of them on the back. So I say both to the price. But yeah, I really enjoyed this and would still recommend this to anyone that's into Ultimate Spider-Man. You get stronger kind of character development and world development, especially along the lines of what's going on with how this is being built up with the Makers kind of bit. And the thing is, I've got other ones that I'm going to be reviewing as well. This one and the Ultimates one have the strongest kind of ties of this story that I am interested in, i.e. the Maker has done and fucked up this world. What are these heroes kind of doing to fight him after he kind of pops back up out of fuckity-doo-dah, fuckity-day kind of shit. So, we'll see how that kind of works out. And I like that this is kind of street level and dealing with it in New York and with Kingpin and all that as that kind of level, whereas Ultimates kind of deals with it on the kind of macro level of the world. And we'll get into that in those kind of ones. I just want to spread it out like that. But yeah, I love the action that's presented, the writing, the handle of the characters, the world, and the lore, and the art is just fucking great Spidey action. And character and emotive action. I mean, since you're going to have Spidey in the suit and out of the suit, you kind of want to have it balanced both. It's kind of when I talk about any kind of other kind of comic. if it's magic, it's got to do magic and crazy spells and everything kind of awesomely for the action and have that ethereal kind of mysticism and stuff that's kind of going on with it. Technology, you really want to dive into that tech, make it really kind of cool and awesome kind of with your Iron Man and everything. That mystical kind of stuff also goes with like Thor and epics and shit. And when you have acrobatics and everything, you want to make sure that works out very well. Similar, of course, Spidey's a top one on that one. Same with Captain America. So yeah, this enhanced the kind of quality, and I can't wait to see where this goes in the next volume. So those are my opinions on the volume. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.